Greetings, everyone. Welcome. It's Friday. You know what that means. Wait, it means something different. Usually on Fridays, I'm doing a chat gauntlet, playing against viewers. Today, I'm going to stay in the system as I was explaining to chat here. Given my limited playtime with me on jury duty right now, I want to spend my Fridays in the system actually grinding my daily gold and whatnot. So I have suspended gauntlet activity until I'm done with jury duty. Today, though, I'm going to jump into a Dominaria queue. They've brought Dominaria back, fan favorite limited format, and it's kind of one of their cube cards. You know, when they're trying to, all right, we're all kind of done with the college campuses around here. What else you got for us? And they tend to trot out cubes. Weird special events and old favorite formats. This, of course, qualifies as an old favorite format. And when I drafted this heavily before on Arena, it was bot only. And honestly, it was my favorite bot format of all of them because the bots treated white and red cards equally. And I don't think they're equal. I think in general you want to be in the Sultai colors in Dominaria, or at least I do. Aggro is not impossible in this format. I've certainly lost to some aggro decks, and if it's often wide open, and if you find yourself kind of forced into the aggro seat in Dominaria, you just have to go with it. Get a lot of the Run Amucks. Run Amok is in this set. I think it was the first printing of Run Amok. And we saw how devastating that card can be in aggro when it made its return in Kaldheim. But so you can do red-white or white base red, base white aggro in the format if you have to. In bot draft, you never had to because the bots would take that stuff highly enough that you could focus on the Sultai colors and basically every time get super sweet late game graveyard value recur awesome stuff type decks every time. And then they played well against each other. I was saying yesterday, like, control on control isn't my favorite type of Magic, but in limited, two long game value decks going at each other is a little different than just straight constructed control on control. And so I really actually liked the bot format of Dominaria. Now it's all human, which means that you can't just go in and be guaranteed that you're going to get the Sultai lane that you want, and you're going to be able to do whatever you want in this format. Now I actually have 7 other people who also want these cards and who also probably know that aggro isn't quite where you want to be in the format. White especially is not quite where you want to be in the format unless it's a support color. But because of that, you just have to be ready to adapt here. I remember one gauntlet we did with Dominaria. I ended up in white-blue skies, basically, and I did fine with it. I don't think I went undefeated or anything, but I got my share of wins. So it's not that these... my plan A is to do Sultai-based long game value. That's always my plan A with Dominaria, but when it's with 7 other humans, you just have to be ready to do what the seed is telling you to do, and sometimes that's going to mean trying to find a way to pick up your share of wins, or more than your share of wins, with an aggro deck, which I've done to medium success sometimes as well when I've had to. If you want better than medium success, you should just stick to my sponsor, CardKingdom.com, when you're making your cardboard purchases. They are high levels of success for everything you need for your Magic game. Whether it's supplies, singles, or sealed product, they got what you need. They're always looking to keep their inventory at peak capacity. That also means that because of that, they have the buy list that's the envy of the industry. If you are looking to sell cardboard and turn it into store credit or cash, Card Kingdom really can't be beat as a one-stop on that front. You may find places that beat them individually here and there on cards, but I have yet to see anybody just come up with a random pile of Magic cards that Card Kingdom was not paying the most for. And that's been true every time I've checked that belief, and it's why I stick with them. Also, because if you are getting that 30% store credit bonus, remember that store credit is only as good as the inventory the store maintains, and that's where the store credit at Card Kingdom, I think, is just more valuable than most because their inventory is so good. you know, that's a bottom line. Anyway, thank you so much for all of your support, Card Kingdom, and thank you all of you for remembering that when you use my affiliate link, it lets them know you got there from here, and then that keeps them happy with me. It really does work. I know you're doing it because Card Kingdom tells me you're doing it, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for thinking of Card Kingdom and my affiliate link when you're considering cardboard purchase. All right. Oh, I'm going to jump in here, but I did want to say also, if you are you know, I advocate multi-accounting and to go free to play. So if you're a free to play multi-accounter, and one of the things I suggest for like a main account is, oh, this is weird. I figured this would be firing pretty quickly. Anyway, if you're a multi-accounter, and I kind of advocate, like if the focus of your main account is keeping up with standard, right? Like if you want your main account to have as close as possible to 4x of standard, if that's a concern of yours, then really you should not be drafting non-standard sets on your main account. I don't need to do that. I'm drafting on my main account. We have plenty of resources everywhere, so we can do whatever. But if you are in a spot where you're trying to use your main account to keep up with standard and you have side accounts, you're generally going to play formats like cube and non-standard returning formats on your side accounts because you want to keep your main account to advancing your collection agenda. One thing I didn't mention in the intro when I talked about aggro, the best aggro deck in the format is actually Wizards, the red-blue Wizards. Cinderwind here is the best card in the pack, but it's two-colored. Other stuff I really love here, Blink of an Eye, Cloud Reader Sphinx, Grow from Ashes, and Goblin Barrage. We could be a little more disciplined and either take one of the monocolored cards, or we could take Grow from the Ashes as the only green card here and move into base green Sultai. But Cinderwind is one of the reasons to be aggro. And while I hate passing Sphinx, Blink, and Barrage, I'm going to take the best card here and see if we might end up as the aggro deck here. And now we could take Goblin Barrage. There was one in the last pack, but this is a good follow-up card here. Deathbloom Thallid is good. I still love this Grow from the Ashes, but with a Cinderwind to start and a Goblin Barrage to follow, I'm fine with that. Skizik is okay. It's this used to be a rare. I think this was a invasion rare, but it was demoted to uncommon for this format, and Omnivore great as well. But yeah, let's take Barrage. Llanowar Elves is actually not my favorite in the form. I'm never going to cut it, but it's not a great top deck late. And the acceleration doesn't matter as much early in a format where the long game tends to happen all the time. But Bombardment is legit. It's just it's not aggro. This is a weird card, but it's powerful if you get there. It's just I think I probably just want the Memorial if I'm leaning into the aggro side of things here. Yeah, but Bombardment is good. It's just not necessarily aggro. But in limited, again, you're mostly just shades of mid-range. I guess I'll take it. Randomness makes it not amazing, but it still gets value. It's always going to get some value. It's I shouldn't say always. If you cast this and the game goes on a couple more turns, you're going to get your value out of it. Yeah, you can blow up their lands and stuff. We're now not seeing any support really for the Cinderwind plan here. So I'm going to go for, and I note that Sap Herd and Migration are still here. Both of these are really good in the black-green Sapperling deck. Yeah, I could take a land on maybe some spot, but I don't think this is super important either. I'm going to take Migration over the Sap Herd. They're both good, but I like the flexibility of the Migration more if we end up there. Interesting. So we can take a Chronicler. This is a fine card. You can play it on 2. It can be a wizard for Cinderwind, or you can play it on 6 and get something back. What we're seeing, though, is like with Fungal Infection and now this Wild Onslaught, not that these are either of them like stunningly good or anything, but they're somewhat signally, although this is kind of as well. I'm really torn here between continuing towards the Cinderwind plan or maybe banking towards the green or the black. But I guess Fungal Infection and Wild Onslaught individually not quite in my face good enough to take over the Chronicler, which at least, there are some kicker, green, red, kicker good stuff type decks you can do here that we can maybe find ourselves in. But here we're starting to run out of quality spells, which is the problem when you're drafting this format against not bots. What are we thinking? We could take Jousting Lance, knowing that it's reasonably aggressive if we do end up in the Cinderwind deck, although it's not really what you want to be doing in a Cinderwind deck. You want to be casting instants and sorceries. I mean, it's right there on the card, right? So not exactly what you want to be doing, but you could conceive of it. And with Saps, it's actually, it turns Saps into legit attackers. So we'll take the Jousting Lance as the most likely to make some kind of deck here. Now we get a pack 1, pick 7 Grow. And I talked about potentially first picking the Grow out of our pack 1. So yeah, this is really a signal to me. This is making me start to think towards actually Gruul. Grow Gruul, and see if we do the red green kicker. You can do Jund kicker, like there's a rare dragon that's Jund colors that can be relevant. Here we have a Fire Intervention. It does feel like the one thing we're pretty sure of is that we're red. So I'm going to take the best card in the color I'm pretty sure we're playing. Arcanist is a fine wizard for a Cinderwind deck, but let's take the what are we doing here card. Wow, Goblin Barrage comes back around and does Cloud Reader. Wowie. I guess I take the Barrage because it's still red, but this is offensive to me. Maybe I do take this Sphinx. Like, that's signally. This card is very good in this format. Boy. And since I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the Sphinx. It's just such a strong card. And I have Fire Intervention and Barrage. So I have some red removal. And a little bit of a hedge towards the Sphinx there. But we're definitely taking Fire. Fire Elemental Rescue or Broken Bond. This is best of 1. You can, but don't want to run a Broken Bond main. In best of 3, I like having these in the board. I'm going to move this to the board right now, too. I sure hope not to play it. But then we get an Arcanist, which, again, a completely reasonable wizard for that plan. If we end up aggro, we would potentially play a Cyclops in a Cinderwind deck. It's nothing special, but I don't know how special we expect on pick 12 or whatever. Sarah's Wings is a nice splash card. We're just going to grab Icy. Shivan Fire, nice. But Icy goes in whatever we play. Although it's all starting between Bombardment, a lot of damage spells, and now an Icy. I'm actually starting to think we are potentially red-blue, but not as aggressive as you tend to want to be with a Cinderwind. A little more controlling of a red-blue deck, but easy Icy here. And now we got some choices, because there's Blink. If we're looking at the blue lane, there's Grow, which wheeled, or no, didn't wheel. We got a late Grow. Untamed Kavu is another invasion card that was demoted for this set, but if we were going to do the green thing, would be a fine pick. But I do feel like, despite there being some green signals, the blue and red signals have been even stronger. So let's just stick with that lane for now, and then take the blink, which I think is the best card here for this plan. Maybe we can get aggro enough to make use of a wheeled lava runner or something like that. Maybe we'll find this intervention on the wheel. I wouldn't even mind a befuddle on the wheel, but blink here's good. And this is pretty weak pack. I don't like the expensive artifact creature. I don't like the cheap artifact creature. I guess we just take a Raider. We can take a Warlord's Fury. It replaces itself. Yeah, I guess there's this chance we hedge into some sort of green. Everybody wants the land. The thing is, man, are we really going to be 3-color? Like, I'm not on the land. I'm almost on Fury or Raider. I think I'm going to go Raider. It's not a very exciting card, I get it, but I'm also somewhat worried about playables given the texture of this draft so far. White pretty open here. Vicious Offering is really nice. Yeah, I guess we take the turtle on the, if we do end up being a more controlling red-blue deck, Coldwater Snapper with Flight on it could be how we get there. Another Sphinx. Journey Mage is just okay. Journey Mage is much better if you're hard on the Cinderwind plan. Wizard that deals some damage with other wizards. So it's a fine include in a Cinderwind deck. And we're going to play the Cinderwind if we're blue-red no matter what. It's just I would rather have another Sphinx given what we're doing here. Well, really nothing here but another Grow. I could take Unwind, but I'm really hoping not to play that best of 1. Sometimes I would bring that in best of 3 if you're in a really a non-creature war type, which happens a lot in the format. White cards continue to be wide open for anybody who wants to pick up that lane, but we're going to grab the Grow. And really, though, I'm going to put the green in the board for right now. I don't think we're going to do that. I think we're just going to be 2-color blue-red, see how we do. And Memorial to Genius will be fine for that deck. I don't like... the Skin Witch is great. Bargain is solid. Bargain does what you need to in this format, which is just card quantity, card quality, grind them out in the long game. But Memorial is great. Speaking of card quantity, getting that in a land is nice. Here's the Run Amok I was talking about being a totally fair place to go with the Cinderwind style deck. Again, we're not really there, though. You take the Tome, but this, I find, doesn't pull its weight. Run Amok, not great in this type of deck because it's so specific to attackers. Wow, Sarah's Wings shows you that just nobody's drafting white. Like, this is a premium white card, and it almost makes me want to take it in case we come up with an easy splash. So yeah, I could take another Run Amok, but if people are going to give us on Sarah's Wings, I'm going to take it and look for a splash. Right now, Blessed Light also splashable. Now that's interesting because I can take the Befuddle or the Arcanist, and this is where, like, do I head towards possibly supporting my splash or a splash or something medium in the main colors? I'm going to take the Blessed Light. We just need a Skitters or something, and we can potentially splash some powerful white here. I don't think we're ever doing any of this. I'll take Vault Progress. Hey, Robert. Wormy. Take more. Vault Progress. More. Sentry. Yeah, wow. Maybe we just end up something white. You probably have a white deck from here. Helm of the Host. Pretty bomby. Goes in any deck. You don't care what you're copying, but we also have Embolus's Clutches, also bomby. This is a very interesting pick, actually. What do you think? Do we like stealing their thing for 6 or spending 4, then 5 to make an endless parade of something on our side? That's a tough one. I really don't know. I'm kind of leaning Helm, but maybe this is a place where 17 lands could tell us. Helm is more fun. Maybe I should just break the tie with fun. But Clutch is pretty backbreaking. I'll take the Helm. I hear you. If you took Clutches there, you're probably right. But you also can't deny that the Helm is a fun card. Really rough second pick here. This is for pick 2. This is bleh. We could take Weight of Memory, I guess. I'd rather just have a Divination, though, is the thing. Solid. I mean, Knight of Malice is great. Is good. Omnivore, good if you got Saps. I don't love the Final Parting. Windgrace, playable. But really, Weight's all we got, so I'll take it. Dean of Iteration here. What's this going to do for us? Don't know that we have wizards that ETB here. So really, this is just a 2-1 for 2. Chronicler, though, continues to be worthwhile in these decks as Desperation interaction early or Value Town late. So we'll take a Chronicler. Slimefoot. That would have been a payoff for us had we pivoted into that lane. We didn't. We're nowhere near it now. Warlord's Fury could make the deck here. Doesn't make it good, but it makes the deck. Overseer. Yeah, well, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, wizards you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. So yes, it's a reward for casting that spell, but it's not like we don't have any wizard ETB with. Well, I guess we have the Chroniclers. That's like the ETBs wizard we have. And now we got a Fire Fist Adept. That's pretty good. Wizard's Lightning is maybe stronger because it's just snap. But let's see what kind of wizard we have. 4 wizards. Yeah, I think we just want Wizard's Lightning. It's nice to get 2-for-1s. But I don't think we have that for sure here. Sad to pass it, though. 2-for-1s are nice. Even if you're just picking off one thing. Yeah, maybe I should have taken it, even though it's not going to be the most impressive amount of damage we've ever seen from that card. Glider could be aggro, at least. I mean, it's all it can be. It doesn't block. Yeah, I really wanted a Syncopate. It's nice to have... Syncopate scales well. It's a 2-drop, it's a 10-drop, right? I think an Unwind is actually probably more likely to make the main deck here for us than a Glider. Another Sphinx comes around here. That's 3 of these. I'm still going to take it. We just, like I said, we're not the low-to-the-ground aggro that you can be with a Cinderwind deck. We're a little bit more controlling, and I don't mind 3 Sphinxes at all in this format. Divination, that's what I was saying. This pick 8 Divination is better to me than the pick 1 or 2 Weight of Memory that we got, but we'll happily pick up this. Scholar, not great, but I like it at 3, better than the Explorer. It does say Wizard on it, at least. It does block. Here's all this stuff again. Never running this main. But if we were aggressive enough, I would. But I don't think that's where we want to be. I don't think we want to be any of this. I'll take the Explorer, throw it in the board. Probably should have taken Vault Progress if that was a thing. Deep Freeze for removal or Kicker Goblin. Maybe if Kicker Goblin got a counter, it'd be worth it. But I think I just want Deep Freeze. And we'll see if we even play it. It might be not good enough removal for our situation. We have a lot of decent removal. Snapper number 2. We didn't get the Flight Aura, so Snapper is a maybe. I think we have our win cons in Triple Sphinx, really, so I'm probably just cutting this Snapper anyway. And then where does that leave us? With, as I feared, not many cuts. You know, the format, I love this format, but especially if everybody is off of something, if we're all fighting for non-white, the playables can be a real issue. And if I look at the cards that I'm least impressed with here, Warlord's Fury is one of them, so I'll start piling on there. Cyclops, pretty weak. Even Weight is like, I guess I can't conceive of cutting Weight given the worst spells we have, but Weight is not high on my list, honestly. Scholar could be cut. I think we have a low enough creature count, though, that we're really just going to cut one of these spells. So let's figure out what spell we're going to cut. Or it could be Lance. Like, this is not really a Lance deck. We could even bring in I might bring in a Fire Elemental or a Homerid. This just feels wrong, though. We've got such 3s already. Or sorry, we got 3 good 5s already. We got 5 5s. Could make this an 18 lander. That's maybe correct. So cut 2 of these and add a land. Makes some sense to me. You want wings in? We don't really have the ability to cast this. I'm not going to splash off no fixing. I don't know if that's what you meant by snappy wings. Yeah, if we'd found a Skitters or something, I might try to run these 2, but we didn't get there. So, kind of feel like really the Jousting Lance or the Run Amok, like Warlord's Fury at least replaces itself and actually triggers Cinderwind. Unwind, this is a very non-creature heavy format. This is not the best, but we are probably going to get something with this. And then we get Run Amok, which is this very narrow thing that says, like, when you're attacking. And, like, this deck is not necessarily going to be getting into combat that much. I kind of feel like it's Run Amok. Like, at least Jousting Lance, if we're not tangling with Oppos, is increasing our damage. Yeah, Run Amok will be unexpected, but it's because it's probably something we shouldn't include, though, right? I mean, like, that... yeah, Tron. Well, you see where I'm at. I'm on Run Amok or Lance, so I'll ask chat. And I'll say other as well, because other might mean I think you should bring in Fire Elemental and cut both of these. Or maybe I'll say call it both. And both means cut both and find something else to throw in from your sideboard. So, we do need to cut 2. So should I just cut both? Yeah, sorry. Maybe I don't pull this. So then do you like this? Is this good? That makes me feel better. I really didn't want to run either of these, if I'm honest. So that actually, I think this is kind of it. This is probably our saddest card now. But you'll see, like, it's the saddest card to look at, and it's pretty narrow. But boy, when you get someone with this, they're like, oh no, I needed to draw those cards. I needed to kill that Cinderwind, right? Let's see if we got bling requests. Guilds or Ravnica Allegiance. Okay. Let's go. Is it set? Next up, Mama, next up. Mama wants sleeves. I think she chose this one. There we go. We'll call this... Oh, it's probably... I'm leaning on the desk a little heavier than I usually do sometimes. But I'm at a standing desk, so if I shake the desk, the whole thing can shudder. And what are we calling this? Sphinx. We got 3 Sphinxes, so Foretold. Just kidding, Mama. Gotta tease a little bit. I know those sleeves are horrid. I was like, what are the worst sleeves I've got? What's going to be most offensive to Mama? Did I get it? All right. This deck is fine. We'll see how it does. It's got some, got the stuff I like. It's got removal, it's got value, it's got card draw, it's got a long game. It's got a bomb. Not super exciting start, but we'll keep it. We got a 2, we got a 4, we got a 5. Good enough. You're crank. I hope my sleeve joke isn't the source of your crankiness, Mama. If so, we'll try and well, regardless, we'll try and get you out of the crank zone here. Boy, it feels so much better to be streaming in my morning slot. I feel energized. I feel in a good mood. It's not... I don't want you to feel like Monday and Wednesday nights are like torture for me or something, but they're just harder. It's just definitely harder to stream in the evenings after a long, mentally taxing day than it has been to stream back here in my morning slot. So good to have you all here. Good to be back in the slot. Hold up, Unwind, or cast Divination. We're going to cast Divination. Unwind we'll try to use to win a late game battle we might face here. I'm going to start with an attack and then Divinate. Ryan Spain, Morning Person. Man, Molecule Man, you can't fathom how bizarre that would sound to old me. Oh, CBL is probably not on, no. I still want to look into the untapped one as well. Well, this is an interesting card. If you've really built around it, it can just absolutely go off. But if you haven't, it might not do much. We'll see what Oppo's up to. I'll assume that they've built around it successfully. But all we can do is try to get our aggro on. I got to update CBL. So right now CBL's installing an update, so remind me in a second if I haven't remembered. Could hold up Unwind, but I'm expecting Oppo to try and value the historic stuff, and there's historic things are permanents. So Unwind, I mean, yeah, there could be non-creature like sagas and stuff and artifacts or whatever, but it's most likely that legendary creatures, since there's one in every pack, would trigger this, so I figured we could wait. Funny, you got our triple Sphinx right here. Yeah, this is suspicious, but we got this little Unwind to trap their trap if they try to get us. So I'm going to send in the Cyclops. Ah, not the... Well, that's not fair, gang. When I was planning my my destruction of them, it involved unwinding their play, not that. All right, so we lost a Cyclops to a good play from Oppo. We're just going to salute that and play a Sphinx and try to recover with the Sphinxes in hand. And that's going to go away. And really, do we even want the Raider? Like, I've got the creatures I want to play here. If anything, I want to find removal for that legend. So let's bin stuff that doesn't help us with the value engine Oppo is starting to put together here. And I am running CBL now. Now I'm pretty offended that Joyra is getting this much value. Oppo just built around it well, but Joyra never does this. I've never had Joyra do as much as it's done for Oppo in 2 turns. But at the end of the day, 3 Sphinxes could get it done if they don't come up with something. They might outdraw us, but the Scries have been good for us here, and maybe an Air Force will get it done. This is why I like the Sphinx. It just is good in the format. It just ends up being a size you like. The evasion and size match up pretty well in the format. Now we even have Sphinx plus Unwind. Deep Freeze loses all other abilities, so all of this is good. We're going to keep these in this order. We can Deep Freeze either a potential flyer blocker or Joyra if we think that value is getting out of hand. Anyway, removal plus recover. Well, actually, maybe do we need the Chronicler? Chronicler might be an odd creature out, given that we don't have anything significant to get with it right now. So I'm actually going to bin this, but keep the Deep Freeze. I can't read your crazy cloud language. Oh, I could have countered that. I kind of forgot I had a counterspell. I did the forgot I had a counterspell thing. Although, to be fair, this isn't exactly devastating. I really want to focus on the things they could do to stop our Sphinx army. They might be trying to, yeah, I was going to say, they might be trying to figure out how much to send here, given the pressure they're under. And I'm certainly going to call the bluff, given the unwind here. Question is, where do we call it? I think we can try, which one do we want to try and take out here? Is it more important to take out the spirit that's gaining them life to prevent our win con from achieving its goals faster? Or do we want to take out the Joyra that is giving them some card flow here? Again, though, the card flow does not seem to be finding them the answers to the major problems. So I'm going to go with the Spirit block. The trouble is also this can gain indestructible. So yeah, but we make them do it, right? It doesn't kill this if indestructible. It just makes them do that. But maybe we just let them have the Spirit then and go for Joyra. And we just try to erase the lifelink. I'll do this. Deep Freeze. I like Deep Freeze on the Sanctum Spirit, or we could get him to do 9 if we just attack with Tesha, but they probably have to just block with that. The question is, between Deep Freeze, Unwind, and 1 blocker, can we just send all 3 of these? I think the answer is yes. Baird, though, charges for the privilege. So maybe we leave 1 back. 3, we have 8 total mana, 2 to attack, and then 6 for these. Yeah, let's send 2, leave 1 back. Yeah, we could deep freeze Baird. Too late now. I did think of that, Molecule Man, but I'm wondering if we just want to stop the life linker with that. But anyway, I'm going to start here. Start with this attack. And now, where do we put this deep freeze? This is where I think Baird is not the real problem. It's either the Relentless Juggernaut, 5 points, the Sanctum Spirit giving them options for life gain. I think it's probably deep freeze on the Spirit, Arcanist chumping the Juggernaut, and Sphinx threatening to eat the 3/3. That's what I'm going to do. So I could counter that, but then I lose my Arcanist as chumper. I have a little bit of breathing room, but not much, so we gotta let this resolve. I need the Arcanist to chump here. It probably means we really don't get to cast this Unwind unless it's a combat trick or action or something. More life linking. So we've been outvalued pretty heavily in this matchup, but that's at least good to see. So we could even potentially take the Juggernaut here. This puts us like a removal spell away from just winning if we can clear out the Teshar. Not that we're guaranteed to draw a removal spell or anything, but I think we say no blocks here rather than chumping yet, because we can make this chump next turn for the same life savings, but potentially have something off the top. Okay, so now that it's post-combat, we can go ahead and unwind that. All right, so Bombardment, as I said, it's a value card. But we're going to just... Basically, it's a weird card. You choose 4 things, and over the course of 3 turns, 3 of the 4 things will get sacrificed. So, obviously... Well, maybe not obviously. Maybe I send in the 2 Sphinxes again. 1, 2, 3. Again, with Bear, maybe I only send 1 Sphinx so that we can keep up the Arcanist. And, yeah, I'll send 1 Sphinx right now. And then we're going to play the Bombardment. And we go the Flyer for sure. Wouldn't mind the Juggernaut getting off our back. And Baird and one of the life linkers. Or maybe go for the bigger stuff. I guess as long as they... I go for the... We can also like try to take out these values. Oh, I take out a Unicorn. I'm going to do that. This is my plan. Let's see what we get. So here we can go. Can we live? What? Or we go like this. Am I just dead? Oh well. Blood Gaze warned me. But I think we are dead. So I guess I should have kept Sphinx back. That's just mismanagement of the game on my part. We would have had a chance if I'd kept the Sphinx back. We just got really unlucky there to find no interaction for Joyra before she basically put the game out of reach for us. We did pretty well. I mean, if you go, I can't go back and look at the battlefield right now, but I don't know how outdrawn we were, but it was probably in the neighborhood of 7 or 8 cards. Like, I would guess that Oppo drew 6 to 8 cards more than us, and it's really hard to win any game where that's going on. So I wish I had done the math better and at least given us a chance there, because I think we could have potentially won that game if I had held back and we let that bombardment do some work for a couple of turns. So that's too bad, because we really did have a chance. I just screwed it up. But let's crush the losers bracket here. No problem. All right, we'll keep this stuff. Keep again. Not exactly. At least we could. Here's what we could have killed Joyra with, but we never saw. Yeah, we could actually cast the Goblin Barrage and kill the Unicorn, but going to... It's not an instant, so we'd have to decide that now. I'll hold the Unwind and be willing to block the Unicorn and just try to have them bounce. Yeah, they'll get some life, but if they try to do anything to win combat, we do have the Unwind for it. DOM is out. This is in system. So it's too bad we're not countering this to actually win combat, but we're countering this to keep it a bounce at least. Sphinxes are back. I am going to continue. I'm just going to make that block again. This time, if they want to use more resources to... I just don't feel like using a Goblin Barrage on a Mesa Unicorn. This is a fine card. But yeah, this is the type of thing to, you know, use your barrages upon. Although we don't even need to do that, really. We're going to play a Cloud Reader Sphinx next turn. Divination is fine, but we're going to do this. And bottom, nice scry. I don't expect this Sphinx to live out the turn. Well, Penny Alice's turn. If we untap with the Sphinx in play, that's a cha-ching. That's a fist pump. New barrage target. All right, cha-ching, fist pump. And we have 7 mana with the Arcanist, so we can actually divinate and barrage here. And I'm not going to let Arvad stick around, so we're going to do that. I should start with a divination, though. Might find easier removal. And I could attack, but we just get cracked back, and it undoes the damage, and so no real reason to attack here. We'll threaten blocks. I guess the reason to attack is if we're like 100% sure they just kill the Sphinx, we should get damage with it. But we know what we're sacking there. And we're going to cast Helm of the Host so they can't get it from our hand. Maybe we hold the island for discarding. But I like Helm of the Host here and start making Sphinxes next turn. I'm going to continue to hold back. They haven't shown the ability to attack through. I'm going to keep trying to make that what happens. Although this is interesting. Now on the edge. If they kill the Sphinx, we have this stranded helm that we spent mana on and didn't really get any value out of, and we have to go back to rebuilding the board. But they haven't shown the ability to hard kill the Sphinx yet, so hopefully that continues. Yeah, Wanderer is okay. That's pretty big. But we're at 20, so we can start spitting out Sphinxes, and that's going to be great if they don't have anything else for that. This is a train that if it gets rolling, it's difficult to stop, kind of like the Joyra train we experienced last time. Now, we could hold this mountain as a potential pitch for the Raider as well. I'm going to start with helming up the Sphinx and see what we're expected to draw. I definitely don't need the mountain. Do we want the Cinderwind? Cinderwind not actually even that amazing here. Yeah, actually, I think I'm going to bin the Cinderwind too, although she is just action and, you know, that might be enough. But I'm kind of looking for removal that we might use on the Wanderer. We have that artifact. We can destroy artifact. Yeah, I'm going to go look for more interaction. I don't think Cinderwind is what we're looking for here. And I'm going to send the Sphinx with the helm. I might chump with this one or something, or but may as well send the helmed Sphinx. But we're about to start taking some real damage too, so got to be careful of that. I'm just hoping that the helm produces enough advantage along with actually casting stuff as well that will overcome. It's important that this Sphinx can block the Cursed and the Unicorn. They can swing for 9 if they want, but we do get to start really spitting out the blockers next turn. If we find removal for the Cursed again, we even get this Apostle out of range. Yeah, let's start with a Sphinx from hand. Ooh, Manipulator, that'll do. That'll do nicely. And I could hold the mountain for the Raider, but I think we're starting to get the point where, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't get to 2 spell next turn, but I think we actually do want to still play mana. Maybe I should. I don't know. Are you playing the mountain or are you holding it for Raider? That's what I'm struggling with here. Maybe I decide after combat at least. Let's scry again. Because yeah, I mean now I could keep another mountain. But I just don't like keeping lands. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to keep lands on top. That just seems wrong. We'll do that. And now, is attacking correct? I kind of feel like maybe holding back against this is like that was my mistake last time. So let's be a little more defensive this time and actually have some double blocks that represent some real threats. And I am going to play the land. I think we'll find enough to we'll find something to pitch to the Raider, and if not, good for us. Wait a second. This is literally our opponent from last game, isn't it? Penny Alice? Did we get paired with the same opponent? Or did I read this name for the first time this time? I think this is a rematch. And we're going to do a lot of blocking on... And maybe I need to block everything here? Or are we in a spot where... Actually, so if we need to chump... This is a lot here. But this is only one card. Well, I'm actually gonna like, that's not right. You're not supposed to face the same opponent in back-to-back games. I'm gonna complain to Wizards about that. The other thing we could do here is like let that through and put. Let's see. Let's put this Sphinx on the Arvad. Let's double block the Wanderer and then attempt to eat here. That gives us. That puts us to 3. I don't want to block Teshar because we're trying to kill Arvad that will reduce this to a blockable creature next turn. Lose the Helm? I don't know what you mean by that either, but I'm going with this block. Oh, because of the Death Touch. Yes, I hear what you mean. So yeah, I just missed the Death Touch part. That was my bad. That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to put my Helm on a creature that wasn't going to die, but I just missed the Death Touch. So, however, with Icy, though, we're going to take a turn off, re-equipping the Helm, and just use the Manipulator. Although maybe this is just a spot where I guess they're going to play Curse, though, and we need to have Teshar defense. But again, we can Helm and get that defense, but then the other stuff attacks through. So yeah, we need Manipulator pass. No, I can't. Scani, I think with the Arvad coming down, we need to tap something. Pretty annoying to be struggling against the same player in the, and I think this is just a different build of their deck, or they don't have the, yeah, they were, this is a different deck? I don't know, maybe it's the same player, different deck. What is going on? They had a lot of white in their other deck though, didn't they? So, I don't know. Oh shoot, and now I'm just completely distracted. I'm sorry, gang. I'm sitting here trying to figure out what's up with Oppo, and I miss my Manipulator. So I'm just gonna quit. I'm sorry. I just completely punted, and I'm tilted because they're matching me with the same damn player, and tilted because I'm distracted. That's a streaming mistake too, though. By the way, I'm telling you, if I'm not streaming, I tap there. Well, 0 for 2 on 2 misplays. Oppo must be going like, going optimal. What does that mean? You should try and doing that, Oppo. But I am going to report that to Wizards. I shouldn't face the same player back to back. I mean, you should not, you should not play the same person in the same event. You should remember who you've played, and you should not have to play them. I'm going to mulligan this. I'm going to keep this, and this is reminding me that this deck is very medium at the bottom end, if not bad. Cyclops is bad, Fury is whatever. But we can at least keep this. And what are we pitching, though? I think I just pitched the Fury. It's just a cycle card anyway. I'm not going to play a Chronicler with our deck's plan unless Oppo... I only play Chroniclers on 2 if I need them to block. And now I do, so now I might play one. And we even have the blink combo. We can blink of an eye a Chronicler to Chronicler back the blink. Could hold up blink or play Cyclops. I'll play Cyclops because we could do tricks with the blink. If we send in a 4/4 and they double block to make it a 2/4 and we blink one of their blockers, it becomes a 4/4 again and becomes like a 3-for-1, you know, or not 3-for-1 because they do get their card back in hand, but it becomes a blink blowout. Well, Time of Ice is annoying, but we can play through here. And Time of Icing the Chronicler does give it back, so we're going to blink something here, kicked, unless they give us a unwind target right away. And I could send the Sergeant-at-Arms back, but I don't want to give him an upcoming chance to kick it. And it's the same amount of damage. So we're going to pass to blockers, and then I'm going to go ahead and kick this Relic Runner back home. Gonna try to make a run with this. We're 0-2, largely due to my inattention and open mistakes. But the deck is good enough to win some games. We're in the 0-2 bracket. See if I can at least crawl back to even here somehow. Fiery Intervention is nice to see. I could just kill the Sergeant-at-Arms with Fiery Intervention and then start looping stuff, but we already have a blink we can loop back. And this is going to come back and continue looping. I'm just going to kick Chronicler and get our blink. Yeah, I don't know. Why didn't they recast, Mike? What is up? Maybe I should have played around Counter Magic because of that. Maybe we'll figure it out. There you go. That's why. They're sending it in. Of course, I'm going to block here. If they want to use tools on Chronicler, that's fine. And yeah, we now have a much better target for this removal. Let's see what they do here, though. This could be a big turn in terms of how is this game going to play out. 3 unknown cards. They could have dropped something really nasty there. Helm is not very nasty with our current crop of creatures, but you can sit in hand waiting to be actually good. Excuse me. In the meantime, we're going to intervene on the Ship's Mage here. And we're going to hope that this Chronicler can keep it together. Ugh, am I going to lose to Time of Ice? Ugh. 503, that's, I guess, justice. I mean, it's my own fault that we're here. But that was a good play from Oppo to get that back. But we got action. Yes, we do. We got action. How about you? Well, they got damage, so maybe that's even better. Might have to use Blink unkicked to survive. This is a card Deathsea had as like whatever, you know, when you do those tier lists, it was the bonkers tier card in his opinion, and I disagree with that. I don't think this card is good, actually. It's doing some stuff here, and I guess it's good specifically in Wizards aggro, but it's not good in Sultai control. It's not good if you're going long control, but it's good in aggro. This is a good draw. We needed something like that. We can really protect ourselves now. We can go... I think we should just lightning... Might even need a lightning the runner, since they play more stuff and can block with it. Anything else we play out is just going to get tapped down. So, in a sense, I kind of want to put out the Chronicler. They can tap it down if they want. We can also, let's see, 6 mana. Too bad we don't have 7. If we had 7, we could 3 spell. We could, if we had another mountain. And there is something to be said for Cyclops Chronicler, so that no matter how they time, we have that. But yeah, I'm probably overthinking it. I think Mike and Siriana have the plan, and in that sense, they're both instant, so we can just end the turn unless we are afraid of Rona activating. Let's kill Rona and then save the blink. Worth noting that I wish I'd had the 3/3 deal damage equal to number of wizards card instead of this. We took this over that. In this particular case, it would have been better. We could have pinged that and had a blocker and made him return it if they wanted to. Skitters. Acceptable. We can at least bounce that runner. Gonna do this now. Yeah, wouldn't have a blocker, but Time of Ice tapping down a damage producer would let us recast it and get another thing. So it had that going for it. All right, I guess this is my fate today. I mean, I don't know what to do. We can at least live. We can live. It's not pretty, but we can live. Lightning. See, this is the thing. We need the fire intervention, but we don't have time. Now we need something off the top to deal with the angel, or we're totally dead. One-time dealer? Please, let me play this deck a little more. It's not that bad. I know I'm that bad, but don't punish the deck. That's almost certainly not getting it done, but we do have a Goblin Barrage, so there is an out here. We go Mountain, because we're going to need to have the 4 mana anyway. And we Raider pitching you know, unwind, and we look for our removal out. Yeah, kick and blink. Maybe kick and blink was the reliable one. Yeah, I'm just not on my game today, gang. Sorry. Maybe I just deserve an 0-3. Slap my face around a bit. But maybe the gods will reward me with the Goblin Barrage here. Nope. What a brutal run. White cards suck in this format, says Ryan, losing 3 straight games to a bunch of white cards. Hard to complain, gang. We had a chance in both of the first 2 games and I threw them away, so I don't know. Like, I can be all tilty, but it's like, Ryan, how was the bed you made? Was it comfortable? Well, white was the worst. It doesn't mean it was unplayable, but I believe white was largely the worst. So white or red was the worst, but both of them had their roles. Hyper brutal. That was a kick in the nuts for me. Even if it was my own boot, if you know what I mean. Sorry, gang. Sorry, YouTube. I'll put that up. I show my warts and all, so there you go. Pretty wart-filled event. I know people say I shouldn't apologize for playing badly, but the reason I do is because it is more entertaining when your streamer plays well. I think it is. I don't know. Do you disagree? Don't you like it better when I'm playing better Magic? I do. So I apologize. It's like, man, I know I'm capable of better than this, and I didn't hit it today. But I'll also forgive myself. I know you all feel it. I know you all been there, and I know you don't think that much worse of me because of any one day's results. But it just would have been more fun if I had been a sharper Magic player today. But there you go. Dull Magic for all of you. Bye, YouTube friends.